Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to the FinTech Close-Up. So FinTech Close-Up is a series of events where we invite founders, CEOs, key personnel from different fintechs to tell about their experience, their stories and lessons learned building the startups, fintech companies. This is already 11th event, so we have quite a lot of fintechs already looked closer, and you can find them in our YouTube channel, like Mintos, Indexo, Mobili, Gravity team. So there has been already discussions about different fintechs. My name is Nauris Bloks. I'm FinTech Business Education Lead at Baltic Finance Centre here in Riga Business School. And today with me is Jānis Stirna, CEO of Handwave.
Yes, hello everyone.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this discussion because I know about Handwave. Yeah, so disclosure, Twino has through funds also invested in your startup, so we see huge potential. And I think the Handwave is moving in some new direction which hasn't been addressed yet, and we will talk about that. But before we jump into the Handwave, students and also others are usually interested to see, okay, who are you actually? So what is your background? Yeah, so where you come from?
Yeah, mainly my background is finance industry. Basically, I started in that area to work approximately 10 years ago. I started as a technical person. Basically, my first job in the finance industry was in company Worldline, which is the biggest payment corporate in the Europe, meaning acquiring services, post-terminal services. Somehow, naturally, from the technical positions I switched more to the management, team management, project management across the Europe, and afterwards I went to the Luminor Bank. Basically, I was manager for all technical delivery for the daily banking services, cards, acquiring, issuing, and so on. So yeah, I have went through all of the phases, I would say, which is necessary to build such kind of startup that we are building, because like I have seen the payments and the fintech from the technical side, from operational side, from product side, from budgeting and decision making side, which is very important if you want to build the product in the fintech and to enter the space together with the partners and to understand what is their mindset behind their business and so on. Last year I switched to the startup. We started the Handwave approximately 4 years ago, but it took a time, quite a long one, to not to make the first investments, but to realize that it can be a product. Our intention was never to take the investments just to have the investments, right? But
fun, yeah.
For fun, yeah, because we knew that you can spend all the money in the world, but if your product doesn't make sense into the industry, that industry will not let in. So basically, we took 2-year bootstrapping phase. We financed it by our own money, just to collect those puzzle piece together, and when we start to get positive feedback from the market, we realized that it's a good time for the investment. So
let's bit pause, and we will get to the Handwave still.
Yep.
When you say you are a technical person, what was the technical? You are a developer, product manager. So what's the level of?
More like infrastructure.
Infrastructure, okay.
Yeah. In some ways, it started in elementary school. Like I was 13 years old, and like other boys, we like to play video games. In that time, Counter-Strike, right? But we managed the biggest tournament site in Latvia. There were hundreds of people who, played tournaments during the evenings, and basically we made the product, we made the channels, like a website and the systems and everything. After the elementary school, I wanted to go directly in the technical college because I want to learn more how to do the things. And in Latvia, technical college is actually a very good channel how to speed up your career, because there is official content what you are learning in the technical school coming from Ministry of Education, but there is like competition layer where you are learning completely different content. It's more like a bachelor content already. So I participated in that activity, like prepared for myself for 2 years for the competition. I won that in Latvia, and afterwards I went directly to the job. So basically, my choice was to skip the high school, but to go basically the university, but go directly and start to work in the biggest telecommunication company here in Latvia to get real experience. And that's I was 20 years old, but already responsible for the production infrastructure, meaning, the client projects, the real traffic, like first incidents, like first responsibility, and then definitely that helped a lot. So.
Okay, good. So you have already got a lot of responsibility at an early age, so that's not new for you.
It was like I was the youngest, person in the company, but I was responsible for the production, like telco infrastructure, like Linux services. Like applications on those services, and then for that time, it was one of the biggest infrastructure here in Latvia. So it was a good learning curve because I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of incidents, right?
On others' expense, yeah. So.
Yeah. My manager at that time was brilliant because he supported me a lot, which was.
Fire you.
No, he supported. That was as well one of the key learning for me that for early career, it's very important to find the best manager possible, because you would not be just a worker, but like it would be more individual work from you can learn and then get the job attitude, right? Technical skills, management, like way of mindset, how you need to report, how you need to structureize your tasks and everything. Which helped me a lot, even now. When I'm not that technical anymore.
Okay, good. So you started Handwave 4 years ago, yeah?
Approximately 4 or 5, yeah.
So how you came up with this idea that my hand is there, let's play with it?
Like 5 years ago, we had idea to build the biggest music festival in the Baltics. So basically, I had a team of 10 people. We did like all the planning regarding location, the stages, budgets, artists. Like we had a dream about, Jay-Z, and everything came to Riga.
Mega positives, yes.
Like mega positives to start a new ways how the festivals are happening all around the world. And my technical guy at that time in the team, Sandis, who is the partner of the Handwave right now, came up with the idea that like customers could enter the music festivals not with the bracelets and tickets, because for the first time entrance there is long queues to like do the exchange and so on, but just to use the biometrics. And we went already at that time that face would be too unethical, right? Fingerprint, there's technical limitations and so on. So palm could be the option. So basically you just show the palm and entry, right? The festival. The second thing is that like when you want to buy the beer, you will use your pure biometrics to do the ID verification. So basically you will not take the passport or ID cards, just show your biometrics. So during the festival time, we already ordered the technology of the palm biometrics from the companies who made that at the time. But then the war started in Ukraine, and basically the festival concept behind was the necessary of very big investments. And at that time, the big investments for the public events was really a no-go. So we decided, okay, let's...
have the technology already here, yeah?
Yeah, we had the idea about, we liked the idea about the palm biometrics, but we knew that we will not build a music festival, but we worked in the Worldline still, like in the biggest payment company. And we started to think, maybe this technology can become as a global product, which are used for any authentication purposes, right? Not just experimental one for the festival. And that's how we started. And we, for the first 2 years, we were a bit skeptical that we can make it, because we know that payment industry is such is very complex organism, right? There is like a lot of interests from different kind of companies like card schemes, banks, you know, the merchants and so on. And we did like a very, very huge analysis phase. So basically we just rent out the very small office, right? We had like weekly meetings per evenings, lot of work during the rest of the evenings and the weekends. That's how the 2 years went for us.
What was the team? So you, co-founders?
Sandis, yes. Then the next one was the guy who started to become responsible for overall architecture analysis, Matis, as well, coming from the fintech industry. Then we found a very brilliant guy who could build the biometric algorithms. Basically, he's as well coming from universities. At that time, he was the responsible who was teaching the youngsters on the mathematical Olympics International and so on. We found very brilliant guy in terms of the development. So basically, we bring them together to start to make the first concepts of technology. And the guy who could be responsible for the business at that time and the device and commercialization. So basically, we already became a 6-person. No salary.
Also co-founding team, 6 persons, yeah? So quite a big team for founding it.
So basically, co-founders was me and Sandis as the two, and the rest 4 was like shareholders, let's call it in that way. So there was no salaries, no income, basically nothing. Sweat fed for 2 years. So basically, you know, to take something out from your personal life and the comfort and just, you know, build the thing. So.
Okay. Let's look on the Handwave from 2 perspectives.
Yep.
Let's first from the business model perspective and then from product perspective. Yes. So what is the business model of Handwave? So how you earn or you will earn the money, or you are figuring out yet?
No, it's figured out, and we are the layer above existing payment infrastructure. So basically, our technology can be and product itself can be integrated everywhere in the world. And we are fitting very well into the existing hierarchy, how the payment industry is working. How we are defining that is that we are earning something similar, like it's earning Apple Pay, Google Pay with their biometrics, what they are like offering on the mobile phone. But we are taking that fee and giving much more back. So basically, we are giving the pure biometrics, and it's not only about the payment, but it can be commercialized as well around loyalty, around ID verification, age verification, basically wherever you need to do authentication. This is our main business stream, like a revenue channel.
Transactions, yeah. So fee on transactions.
Fee on transactions, yeah. We are giving our product to the banks, to acquiring banks, who can commercialize that to the merchants and as added value services.
Okay, so business model quite straightforward. Yeah, transaction fee on the transaction volume grows, your business grows.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then from product side, I must admit I haven't seen in any store that someone says, hey, you can pay with your palm. Yeah, so how it looks from the product side. So now there is terminals in the usually in the POS terminals in the store. So how the Handwave extends that?
Yeah, the first step is onboarding. So basically, you are using your mobile phone. You are downloading the Handwave application. You are going through the onboarding process, and you are using your mobile phone cameras just to scan your palm. So basically, with that activity, we are already generating unique ID code. Then you have the profile. So you add your debit cards, credit cards, loyalty cards, basically whatever you want to use it. And you are going to the stores. Basically, at any store where our product will be implemented, instead of using the cards or wallets, you will just use your palm on the device. And our algorithms will match you and automatically activate this profile that you created. So basically, it will automatically activate the payment card, basically whatever you have added. And for the customer, it's like super convenient. Basically, you don't need any more like tens of applications, QR codes, passport ID, right? I think we all had the situation that you are like at self-checkout zone at store and you want to buy a beer or wine and you are waiting.
Well, everything has been lost already.
Yeah.
Palm is there.
Yeah, you are just waiting for cashier, right, to show the ID and so on. No, it's like just show the palm and go forward. For the merchants, it's like a brilliant solution because it reduces the queues and it results on reduced operational costs because like every second what customer spends at the checkout zone is some amount of the money. So basically you are speed up the things. If you're looking in the industry itself, biometrics is nothing new. In Europe, it's new. So basically in the United States, there is already the solutions as well in Asia, in Latin America. Europe is the last one because of the regulation. Europe is very regulated and we are the first company who is actually building the full end-to-end solution according to the Europe regulations. And that's why you have not seen it yet, but we will all see this year. So,
so the application is already available, so everyone can use it?
No,
it's not available.
No.
Okay, I wanted to ask who has it, but no one has it yet. Yeah, so that's still to be launched this year. Yeah. So.
Yeah, in summer. So basically, we have already quite a big list of the partners and the merchants who would like to pilot. As in of the best practices in the payment industry, there's process how you're enabling new solutions in the payments. There is phases of enablement, controlled, like internal, controlled, external, and so on. So basically for the publicly availability, we are looking on summer or September, something like that.
Okay, good. We will jump into the bit technical side a bit later, but maybe let's check the audience. Maybe someone has already questions so far about Handwave.
Okay. My question is more about the security side. You need not talk about it, but maybe we'll talk about it later. So basically the technology itself, the Palm, it uses this biometric data. And let's, for example, imagine a scenario that this biometric data is leaked. For example, hackers or some problems, technology problems and so on. And biometric data is like a bit different. It's not like, you have a password or a credit card. It means like your biometric data, if it's leaked, and it's leaked. And I mean, you cannot change.
Unique, yeah.
Yes, it's unique, yes. And in this case, maybe you have a vision, to what you would do in this case, for example, and how the data could be leaked. For example, I imagine a scenario that the AI, it will be stronger, yes. And also, if you encrypt this data, maybe there's these quantum computers also, maybe a couple of years, and they could unlock this encryption. And so there are a lot of security problems. And to be competitive in this industry, you need to like think years ahead, yes. And so could you share some thoughts on this? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you have like two hands, so two options. If one is leaked, you have another, yes.
Yeah.
Then that's it, you cannot grow
it's like my card, your card.
How you look
right?
on that, yeah. This is a unique situation, yeah, so how do you think about it?
This is a very good question, and of course, like security is the backbone of our product. In some ways, I do believe we will be the most regulated company in the Europe, because like just to enable our solution, we must pass the highest complexity certifications for the biometrics, for the data storage, for the card transactions, like and so on, and of course, like the whole processes internally is built basically to pass those certifications, meaning the best ITIL standards, PCI DSS standards, and so on. But the essence and the answer to your question is that we are not storing pure biometric data. basically, whenever you are onboarding your Palm, we are generating unique hash code, and only the hash code is stored in our databases, meaning that we don't know what is direct your vein structure or skin surface and so on. And the hash code itself means nothing. I can give it even to you or to you, and you both will not be capable to do anything, because that hash code needs to be used in proper environment to activate this profile, meaning you need to be present on site on our devices, showing the Palm where we are doing liveness checks and so on, which generates this code, which afterwards is sent to our databases, and then we are doing the matching. So meaning in that terms, it's already happening how it works with the face recognition, because to anyone who have the iPhones, you are unlocking your iPhone with your face, but actually what is happening, that iPhone algorithm is generating unique ID code and storing that in the local database. So in some ways, only already centralized. And that's why the whole environment, basically end-to-end, is definitely the most secure what there will be in the market. And it's already analyzed by Visa, right? Their fraud team and security team, that fraud attempts and so on is almost impossible, because you cannot do it. If your codes will be leaked, of course, you will need to onboard you again, yourself, with maybe different parameters of your biometrics, and again, the new hash codes will be registered in our databases and so on. But yeah, the key essence is because at the beginning, people think that we are taking full biometric data from your Palm, pictures, everything, right? And it's actually happening with our competitors, because our competitors in the United States are doing that. So basically, when you are showing the Palm, they're taking the whole picture, sending to the database, and it's storing and then doing the things. That's why they cannot operate in the Europe. And that is as well is our competitive advantage, that from technical perspective, we have most secure solution from any kind of possible frauds and attacks and everything. So.
But still,
Yep.
if you can scan your Palm and it scans and then recognize, this is this hash in database, so I can authorize. So, but if someone has the biometrics, or there is this your algorithm which reads it, it's somehow unique and that's great, because if I have already my biometrics and someone else used it somehow, it will know, no matter what kind of hashes in the database, it will know that this is my set of parameters.
So basically, this device, what we will have, consists of two different cameras of technology and two different algorithms. So basically, whenever you are showing your Palm, it's two different ways how we are generating those codes, and after we're doing the matching. That's why it's per se two-factor authentication. And if you are not there present, if you are not live, right? If you will come just by the picture, it will not work. So basically, you need to be there. And plus, with that, you need to have authorized profile with all those stuff in the backend. So
you don't keep all the unique biometrics. You just scan. You understand, from two sides that this is. No, I'm simplifying. So that this is the same hand which has the hash somewhere, and then you authorize the payment.
Yes, in our backend. Yes.
Okay. Still trying to wrap in it all works. So, but somewhat answer. But so it's still, if AI and quantum is growing and that the capacity is growing, will that affect this security? Because it's not storing. You are not storing anything. It's just reading on the fly.
No, because you still need to be a live person on site. So, and if you will not show your live biometrics on the device, nothing will happen. I think that's how we can formulate it. So you can generate very precise code probably in the future of your hash, which is stored into the database. But the question is how you are inputting that into the whole environment. So basically, in that scenario, you need to be at store, opening our device, hacking the device, send
And then
bulk
all the
code,
information,
yes,
everything, and
plus the unique things regarding cash registers or POS terminals or and the payment itself and so on, because like the whole flow of the authentication and services consist of I think 20 or 30 variable data which comes from the different things, and plus the whole hash is tens of thousands unique points of your palm. So basically it's
set of parameters which is hashed together, and only that particular combination will unlock the access.
Exactly. So basically from fraud perspective, it's always then the question, isn't easier just to take your mobile phone or cash if you really want to fraud it, right?
Okay. Somehow answered?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. More questions, yeah?
Why others haven't used this hash, or you have invented it?
I think the hash code itself is used maybe in different way because like in the United States or in Asia, when you do the onboarding, they're sending the whole picture to the databases, then they're doing the post matching there, and some unique codes could be there, definitely. But our perspective was that it's even more flexible from the infrastructure perspective to generate those unique codes on the device, because as well from the infrastructure perspective you don't need that kind of the internet speed with latency and so on, because there is much less data to pass through to the matching activities, and it was of course affecting the cost, because then we can do it at even cheaper and so on, and it's a much more complex technology. Basically, it's very unique that we have like very strong team which can do it, and as well comparing to our competitors, which are usually like the big type of corporates and so on, the way how corporates are operating is completely different. They don't have that much of the build type of mindset. They have more like let's take some resources. You have very limited amount of the budget, and let's make it per innovation's sake, not per like a product sake maybe. And that's why as well they took not the hardest road, but like the easiest road, just to show that as soon as possible it works like as a concept and so on. So that's why I personally think.
Okay. Yeah, we will get to the questions a bit later, but continue on the technical side. So I'm imagine at the beginning when you came up with the idea, you figured you will have to solve several technical questions. Yep. It's not one, yeah. So usually you have to solve one to get some product out. So what was the biggest technical challenges that you have to tackle? Of course, the biometrics is one, but that's not only, because to get to the payment flow, there's another. So maybe you can guide us through that.
Yeah, of course, biometrics is the most complex one.
Hardware that's something that you develop by yourself.
Yes, basically to have the accurate biometrics, it's the algorithms and it's the hardware. It's like a one combination, because like to have good like generation to generate like accurate algorithm hash code, you need correct way of cameras, the lightning, and those kind of things. So, and plus additionally, you need to do it at low pricing, because like it's not like very hard to build the hardware and together with algorithms, which will cost for 10,000 of the euros. So basically, you're just taking the best of the industry and just collecting, right? So basically, optimization is still is the biggest challenge, because like you need to make mass manufacturing the device very optimized, like at a cheap cost point. That's the first thing. Of course, the second thing is the overall architecture of the product, because like the product is integrated with the payment world, meaning the Visa, the MasterCard, the payment processing systems, which is owned by banks. So basically, you need to have accurate architecture, how it works, and that was of course like a next challenge, because to build wholly new architecture from the scratch, which will be as a centering point between the banks and the service providers, like meaning cash registers and POS terminals. It's maybe one of the biggest projects what fintech area has seen in the Latvia, like per se, and it took multiple years just to understand how to build it correctly, like again in optimized way, in scalable way. Just that not it works, but it works brilliantly, and we are still building that. So basically, and in this way, unfortunately, ChatGPT or that kind of vibe coding is not helping, because vibe coding is great to build the website, right, and so on. But the quality assurance what we have to pass is at completely different level. So basically, you are taking the very best experts, like to build correctly the data flows, the connection types and everything. So
Okay, so the first technical challenge, device and algorithms itself, and then it's actually the interface with the existing payment system, which you had to also build out, because you have to integrate your solution into existing payments. Okay, about the device, so it's being manufactured, so it's already streamlined, the manufacturing, or you're still working on figuring out how it should be? You have the prototypes and you are, I don't know, ordering in China to develop? Or?
I think it's something in the middle.
So it's not yet finished how the final device will look,
Yes. So basically we are going through the iteration cycles, which is like standard way for the hardware. Each iteration cycle consists of the multiple research and development activities. We are owning our own IP on the I/O boards, camera modules, and so on. In the long term, our plan is not to do manufacturing. So basically, we want to be more a software company who owns the IP, and there is like manufacturing companies all around the world, not only in the
like
China,
terminals,
and so on. Who based on our IP and license, meaning can manufacture. But we are right now to build this IP. We are collaborating with the biggest companies possible in the world, like Qualcomm, who is like a processor manufacturer. We have guys from Sony, like who is doing like calibrating the cameras and so on. Thundercom and different kind of big corporates, basically to get this IP at the highest level possible. So.
Do you keep count of the prototypes, of iterations? So how far it is? What is the count currently?
We have 1.92, something like so.
92 iterations of the hardware,
because like this hardware consists of 5, I would say, 5 components, and each component consists of the multiple small components. So basically, it's every time that like we're optimizing.
Okay. So almost 100 times, so you will...
Yes. So basically we are like, we have internal team in terms of the hardware and so on, but of course for the long term we as well want to optimize that as well. Like to work more closely with the partners and to get this like manufacturing capability that you can manufacture hundreds of thousands devices per month with like good level like of price and so on.
Okay, and now about the integration part or interface part. So you mentioned this is actually more complex than hardware?
In some ways, yes, in some ways, because like the problem is that like if that infrastructure will not work correctly, there will be payment incidents. Like if the payment incidents will occur, it will be a reputational risk or like a product risk for the whole industry, because like our business is partnership-based business, right? And we are going into the agreements, very large ones, right, with banks and as well with Visa and so on. So basically, and there's a lot of details. So basically, you need to prepare everything very correctly, and there's speed. Right, there is resilience if something will happen. Right, there is like multiple types of data flows. Right, and it's like building the whole new payment like applications from the scratch. Some ways, like into the cloud infrastructure integrated with microservices and so on.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask a little back to the hardware. So some edge cases.
Yeah.
So if I cut my hand, it will not work. Yeah?
No.
Okay. Dirty hands
Will work.
in the night
Will work.
will work. Okay.
Yeah.
So festivals. Safe.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So basically, you need like one of the algorithm goes through the skin, so it goes vein structure. So even you have like some injury, you will show and it will smoothly work. So
Okay. It's only if there is no blood flow at all, then it doesn't work.
yeah, but blood flow is the liveness detection. So basically, you need the blood flow rotating, and then we are understanding that then it's okay.
Okay. Good. I guess we have a bit jumped into the technical part. Let's maybe zoom out back to, to the business part and the business building part. So what's in your opinion has been the key enablers that you have got so far? Because it's persistence which should be there to get through all those challenges. Yeah? So how you see what has been the key enablers for you and your company?
Very important aspect was the business model. So basically, the business model is the one which led in you as a startup into the fintech industry. A business model consists to give some value to your partners, meaning the banks, the card schemes, right, and the merchants. And for us, it takes years to put it together because, in the payment industry and the fintech per se, there is how the fee has been shared between the partners, and we were needed to find natural role in that whole hierarchy. And when it collected, it actually went automatically, basically, because 2 years ago and a year ago, it was like we spoke with all of the banks here in the Baltics and with a couple of in Europe, and they thought great product, great innovation, I would like to use it, and so on. But there is no, it's there is no commercial behind it, right? So when we put that together, especially as well for the retailer perspective, right now it's completely different discussions, and I think it was key enabler for us, and it was we are still shaping that because this is the first enablement phase what we are doing for the Baltics, but of course we are already dealing the biggest retailers groups in the Europe, in multiple countries as well, with some banks in the Europe, and economics behind the fintech is different in each region and as well in each country, right? So you need to understand more how the dynamics are there and how to make more fitable business model for the particular country there. So but for the Baltics, I think as well for the Scandinavia, we are right now good. Yeah.
Do you have already some pilots somewhere running, actually, in the real life, or not yet? Nothing yet. So it's just currently in development. Yeah. So
yes, right now, it's integration phase with all of those partners.
So you are not still getting any revenue currently.
No. We are pure pre-revenue company, and building such kind of company, it's a bit different with other startups, because right now it's normal that you have AI startup and you boost up the revenue couple of millions in couple of months. That even becomes a normal, right? And venture capitals like to react on that because they see the real numbers, right? But the problem with those startups is that no one knows what will be after 5 or 10 years, because AI currently is so evolving and changing, and even with one big corporate announcement, thousands of AI startups can die, right? Because those big corporates have user platform, they have budget for the marketing and so on. Our company is completely otherwise. So basically, we are pre-revenue company, and we will be for quite some of time, comparing the big revenue numbers. But when it will be adopted across the Europe and other countries, and when the user traction will naturally grow, similar like it was with Apple Pay, Google Pay, right, and the contactless cards, then of course after the 10 years there will be very huge stable revenue with regular growth, and then basically we as a company would need to support that growth entering into the new markets. It's completely different methodology. And that's why we are a very capital intensive company. We are capital.
Yeah, you have to build out all the stuff, and then you will get economies of scale. Then you start to get the revenue.
Exactly. But the good thing is like that money what we are investing, it will not be 1 or 0. It cannot be. So basically, if you have the asset in terms of like that there is infrastructure, right, and then there is like IP and there is algorithms and so on. It's the asset in which you are investing the money, and the worst case scenario is that like the big corporates who would like enter that space would like to get the asset. So it's a different way how you merit the valuation of the company. But of course, for the long-term revenue potential is very huge, and we have all the opportunities basically to be there. So.
Okay, so one enabler, the business model. So any other enablers that you see that has helped you grow so far?
Compliance, because of course in this area, and like anyone who will plan to build a fintech company needs to understand that in Europe the compliance is a keyword. So basically it's a good way how to enter the market, because like you can sell your product to the business layer of the partners, but then compliance is coming and they can just refuse the project or close the project and so on. So at the moment when we realized that we are operating according to the Europe Central Bank laws, Latvian bank, like positive discussions, and then that we are there, that our partners thought, oh, okay, great. So basically, you achieved it. So and then it was as well like 1 or 2 years, like put those things together, certifications and everything. So.
Do you see that as a benefit, as an enabler? Yeah, so that could help you some way to enter this space?
Yeah, definitely. Like for example, right now we can say to all of the European partners that we are the only company in the Europe who are like developing our own technology, which is compliant according the Europe regulation laws. And if you want alternatives, it's a Chinese one, right? Basically, where there is a lot of questions about data privacy and so on, but they not even can operate in the Europe. And for them, it's kind of big decision to go to rebuild the whole product just to get the certification. So in that way, you can get actually competitive advantage even on compliance layer, right? And which can directly benefit to your business and the revenues and so on. So yeah, that's definitely the second enabler, and the third enabler is product branding and marketing. I cannot state how important that is, and it's not my strongest part. That's why like we hired the guy who is the eventually most strongest guy who could be there. But positioning your company, positioning your product, create the right brand, create the right way how to articulate the things, how to get interest from the. Just giving as an example, like we started the new brand strategy last September. So basically, we will be like a positive attitude company with some funny moments and so on. So we took designers. So basically, build the whole new, pictures and videos and everything. And where we told a lot about the product. And after the 4 months, one of the biggest grocery retail groups in the Europe, they came to us. Basically, they connect us in the LinkedIn. They're head of the payments, from the Europe. So that they are specifically looking for the biometric checkouts. We are following for a couple of months to you, and we like what you are doing. Let's have a call. After the call NDA, and in end of April we have 4-hour workshop like in Germany, like to basically talk about
how to work with that.
Exactly. So and it came because of the product branding and strategy. So because our
All the
compet
marketing people now, yes.
yeah, and yeah,
That's where
like I had a meeting with one of the biggest venture capital from the Sweden. They were like historically in the Klarna and other startups, and even in the Sweden they were acknowledging how strong brand we have, because he thought that like in Sweden it's quite opposite. Everything's building technological products and so on. But then you're going to the website and you don't understand anything, right? You're articulating about you have a technology, but how you can use it, how it makes the benefit, and so on. So, and it's very important. And for us, it's just a start. And like you need to calculate it in your budgets, at least from my perspective. So definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. So business model, compliance. And actually positioning, brand marketing, that matters if you want to stand out and get some traction. Yeah, so
of course technology as well, but important aspect for technology is that technology is more like a driver. It's not like you can have the best technology in your hands in the world. Yeah, but if you have it only with you, right? No one cares.
Yeah,
nor investors, the partners, or the market itself. So, but it is important. But from our experience, it was only the 5th or 6th or 7th discussion where they start asking about technology. More detailed questions about technology. They knew that technology, you can scan your palm, there will be connections and so forth, but it's more like a product related, I would say. But then the real technical questions becomes when the technical analysis is starting. And technical analysis is starting when the business has approved, when compliance is approved, right? And so on. So
okay, good. Let's check once more with the audience. We had some questions before. We have some questions now as well.
So you mentioned that China has already launched it. Have you, well, as far as I know, they've been with similar product for 3 years. Have you looked into what kind of issues they had initially when they launched, and is there something that you can learn from them?
Definitely, to be friends with competitors is very important, right? And we have one in Asia. We had one in the United States, and with both of them, we try to get as much as information possible. In terms of Asia, they have the same technology. No, their technology, but concept is the same, but completely different business model. So they are not that strong in the fintech per se. They are like more strong in like how adopting, because like they have a like very, very big budget. Like we are speaking regarding one of the biggest Chinese company, Tencent, right? And they are using for the public transports, they are using for the stores and so on. But what we have learned is that our product fits very well into the market, because their adoption rates are super good. Like
in Asia, they are adopting the
in China, 7-Eleven, one of the biggest retailer groups, are like adopting this technology. Public transportation in Singapore, like multiple merchants are adopting, and so on, which of course help us naturally, because like we are as well like speaking with whole industry here in the Europe, but as well outside of the Europe, and they seen that like publications that it's happening and so on. So it's good. But we have a completely different business model. Basically, we are the first open infrastructure which can collaborate with any bank, with any merchant globally on the same infrastructure, payment infrastructure what exists. Meaning the banks and the merchants don't need to change anything. They don't need to make any capital investments. Even operational expenses is not growing. Just to enable us, and it's different way how Asia guys are doing, because for them the hardware itself it's very expensive, and as well implementing that, the whole industry there needs to do quite extensive changes on their systems, their processes, and everything. That's why I do believe our scalability aspect is much more higher than comparing to them.
So they are missing this interface part, yeah. So they have the hardware, and then they just directly try to somehow plug in without the interface or something. Again,
The business model,
Yeah.
the business model is different.
different.
Yeah,
You just take a device, and that's how I will go and integrate with you. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so basically, in their say, each of the merchant, they need each of the merchant in Asia need to establish their own channel in terms of the onboarding and everything.
Okay.
Like in our sense, like it's a whole collaborative platform, basically where you can onboard yourself and then access all the systems. I think Chinese guys are going as well to that direction as unified.
Yeah, because that's friction for them.
Yeah. But as well, the second, how the payment economics is working behind is completely different. It's not anyhow related on Apple Pay fees, on Google Pay fees. It's for them, merchants are paying much more, and then the whole industry is paying much more. But no, it's Tencent, it's Chinese government regulated company. It's hard to tell no there. So yeah.
Okay, good. Some more questions?
First of all, I would like to say it's a really impressive idea. And I have a question regarding data privacy. So we all know when it comes to data privacy, everyone's sensitive, and especially when it's about biometric.
Yep.
So how do you protect this data, or how do you convince users that their data, biometric data especially, is safer in your hands? And how do you protect it from your side? And that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the feedback and thanks for the question. So basically, when you're all the data is under the regulated processes, and those processes is under the certifications. So we cannot pass those certifications if naturally our systems would work otherwise. And there is audits which comes to like our company, and they're looking on the stuff like how the databases are configured, right? How the data flows are going, and so on. And those certifications is the very similar level how the payment industry right now is working. So basically, if you are using already Apple Pay or Google Pay or even your bank applications, it's the same certifications what we need to pass. So meaning, the level is the same, and it has already proven that we don't have like a lot of data security issues. Of course, like we are going this one extra layer to make extra efforts, basically in terms of encryptions, in terms of the segregation between the databases and everything. We definitely do believe that we will be if not the most secure, then one of the most secure place to keep your data. And that's the whole point of the whole platform, because like there is one platform for everyone, basically for all the services that you are using. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. Any last question? Yeah.
So my question is about security again. So we are in 2026, and people can also make a replica of your device and copy the biometrical details of people's. So as we know, the hashing algorithm is safe, it is one way, but the device we are showing our palm is generating the hash, isn't it?
Yes.
So this hash can be copied by the merchants of the provider of the device to the customer. So is there any solutions for this?
So device is one part. It's like a combination of hardware and the software. And I would say that even if merchant would like to copy that hardware, they would not be capable to do anything in terms of the same hash code generation, because it's the software who is integrated into that specific hardware as a combination which you need basically to generate it. And if even in some miracle way, if they would be capable to do it, that hash code needs to be sent to the databases, and the database is doing the final matching. So basically they would need to throw out the whole flow of like how data is generated, then transmitted to the like specific databases and the matching algorithms and so on. It's nearly impossible. And of course there's technical details behind it, but it's like nearly impossible, especially that hardware itself, to get that level of IP, it's a couple of millions what you need to invest basically just to understand like how camera models are working, like how they need to be regulated at specific environments, how that particular algorithm is working with that specifically hardware. Because like, for example, if I would give our device to you and you would write the algorithm from the scratch, most probably it would never work because you don't know the specifics of how the device is working. So basically your algorithms would not use efficiently the camera modules and everything to generate the same code, basically the same hash code. It would be completely different code. And that's why we are doing the patents, because we definitely believe that the thing what we are doing is very unique. And as well, like from the freedom operator search globally, this mechanism, how it works, it's like very, very unique. And that's why we are patenting that. I hope I answered your question.
Like I think about the software side, not the hardware side. Maybe the hacker, I will say hacker, can patch the code you write on the code and can generate a patch, can pick the hash code from the runtime and can send to your servers from the IP of the device and can pay as a different person without the authentication.
Yeah, I start to feel like in hackathon already. Maybe we can take this discussion after this one, because it's rather technical, and then I think it's a good question, but it's I think the audience is already lost. So so we can take the tech question after the FinTech Close-Up. Any other questions? Okay, good. You made it. Okay. Okay, go on. The last question then.
Thank you. I'll stop the
no
train.
Security, yes.
Yeah, no security, no technical questions. You mentioned the China approach where they have high fees for the retailer or for the merchant.
Yeah.
I, as a retailer, first of all, I have to there's a counter that I walk up to, there's maybe a terminal, a screen, I have to adapt that. So how are you seeing perhaps merchants reacting to that aspect, that they have to change their infrastructure? But also, am I, as a merchant, paying for the physical device? You mentioned it's quite expensive at the moment. Or is that being financed through those recurring transactions?
Yeah, at first, when we started the first discussion 3 years ago with merchants, they were not very supportive that there is new device and so on. But at that time, we were not capable to rightly articulate how this device is helping you, right? And eventually, when they understand it's not only about payment, but it's age verification and the loyalty and ID verification, those are completely new ways of biometric capability to do the checkouts. They understand that either way there will be a new hardware required. Like giving as an example, for example, in Lithuania, there is store Iki, and they are trying to deal with age verification using the web cameras. So basically they're putting the web camera and they are trying to predict with AI what is your age. So there is no like a normal ID verification process behind. But still, for the merchant, it requires new hardware, new implementation, new maintenance, and so on. And that's why, in terms of our product, they are supportive. Like they understand the POS terminal is not is related for NFC functions, right? They know that cash register is like for different, and then there is Handwave device who is like full biometric authentication. And in terms of the price point, of course, it was one of the aspects that I mentioned, that it was very important to find a business model for them. And we found it. So basically for them, it's not that costly. And of course, in the long term, it will be like, I would say, super cheap. And merchants would not need to make any capital investments initially just to start to pilot these solutions and try it out, because everything is based on the rental fee. So yeah, I think it's a win-win. And right now, we don't have any merchant from all of the portfolio who has reviewed our project only because of the device or because of that there is like extra cost on the device. So yeah.
So in essence, it's rented, right? So they don't have.
Yeah. Similar like as post terminals, like as well. Yeah.
Okay, good. You already mentioned several times, that there is adjustments happening all the time. So taking into account that initially for you there was an idea, the vague idea how it should look, and also talking with the merchants and retailers, you see what they want. So what's your mindset how to build product that nobody knows how to build, and also there are a lot of interests. So how do you think about it? So you are going your own way, or you are listening to someone else? So how do you see this?
By feedback from the customer. The best feedback in the world is from the customer. So, or your partner who you would like to collaborate, basically, and so on. Because the customer, and the question is, who is your customer? So basically, in our case, the customers and the partners are enterprise corporates. Enterprise corporates are the ones who don't have the time for you, especially for the early stage startup. It's already like a red zone for you, and they don't have the money for you and time and so on. So they will give a feedback why it will not work. So basically, and that's a good starting point. So basically, you collect all the feedback why it will not work, like why the banks is telling what will not work, the merchants, and it's your project plan. So basically, you are going back to the office, and you have the activity list for the next months, and you are basically on the next meeting with those enterprise corporates. You are coming back with the answers. And that's how you can prove the progress, basically, and that's how your life cycle is building. Mm-hmm. So step by step, and at one point you start to understand that you have almost all the answers, and then that approach would work. Because at least from my experience, when you are building a new experimental technology and the product itself, there is no channel from which you can get the needed resources in terms of the knowledge and the feedback, because even our competitors, completely different business model, strategy and technology and so on. If you would take it as a source of truth, you would do it completely the same. But then the question is like, why you are better, right? So, and you can take good functions, like good ideas from them, but overall, you are validating that with the client, and you can ask like, why you don't like it, right? Why, if you're ready to pay for that or not, right? And so.
How much the product has changed from the initial product idea to what you have now? It's more or less the same, or it's totally different how you imagined?
Like completely different. So 3 years ago, we thought that we will be the bank. We started even to speak with Latvian National Bank regarding that we will be the bank, right? The customers, we will hold the customer funds and everything. Then we thought that, okay, we will not be the full MEI license company, we will be partially more like a payment processor, right? And as acquiring bank, like, and then we went that we will be payment processor. Then we went that we will be merchant of record, which means that we will be the ones who will put all the merchants under our merchant substitute. Let's call it in that way, and we would give the services similar like Bolt is doing, right? And each of this step we became more lightweight, I would say, right?
Took away what
less
you will
complexity.
not be actually.
Less complexity, less risks less and so on. And now we are, I would say, like thin as a paper, right? Which is cost effective, which is like really as a layer above existing infrastructure. And and again, it was like validating. Even FKTK, which was like, now it's under the Latvian bank, but like in that time they were independent. Like we came to them and say, hey, we will build a bank, and the guys thought, okay, but
Maybe not.
yeah, think twice maybe. Like, and 3 months ago we came back and like we thought we became much better, and they say good, but still, like, and so on. So yeah, it was quite a journey.
Okay, so this just shows that the initial idea may not be the one which actually will build in the 3 years, 4 years, but it doesn't mean that that's the bad idea. Yeah? So you just need to go through the iterations.
In startups, it's like we have good examples like in the world, right? Amazon now becomes AI company, right? Tesla and so on. Your product will evolve, and the new products will come like in your portfolio, and you don't. There is no point in terms of the product which you will reach, and that's it. Like, it's not a milk company, right? It's not like you will buy the cows and that's it. You have a milk and you have revenue, right? Like milk will change every month, right? And it will as well be as a demand from the market, because like for us it was important aspect that how the company evolves from biometric payments, then infrastructure layer, stable coins, crypto, right? Everything. So basically already in our pipeline, I told you, like I explained the one thing that we are doing, but in our pipeline we have approximately 20 ideas which we will establish. The next one is public transportation. We have already the partners, right? Security access in the airports, right? We had already the first clients who would like to test it out, and so on, right? Stablecoin implementation is the real thing, which basically you can put alternative payment rails in the real physical stores and so on, and then it will be completely different product again. So yeah.
Okay, we have to wrap up, and we could talk for another hour. Yeah, but before we wrap up, so how you see the future of payments in like 5 years? Yeah, so now taking account that the Handwave will be a huge company and impacting that. So what's your like vision of the future of payments?
It definitely will be more fragmented, I would say, because right now, especially in the Europe and in the Baltics, we have Visa and MasterCard, right? And we have cards, and then we are going to the stores, right? And we are using 1 or 2 or 3 payment methods, Apple Pay, Google Pay, cards. So yeah, still there is a cash, right? And so on. I think in 5 years, the way how people will be capable to pay will be like completely different scale, and in some ways it's already happening as well in Asia, and that you are going into the store and you can use one of the 15 or 20 payment methods basically to do it, or with QR codes or with biometrics and so on. But of course it means that as well the whole area in the back end in terms of the payment will be completely different. There will be new ways how the transactions flows will go, new ways how the post-payment processing will happen on reconciliations and so on. Biometrics definitely is the thing. Actually, the Visa MasterCard is predicting that adoption rate for the pure biometric payments will be similar like it was for Apple Pay and Google Pay, meaning 20% of the first 5 years of the whole traffic. And I think there will be even in the biometric area, there will be voice recognition payments, face recognition payments, like, and so on. So yeah, things are changing, and it's good because payment industry was in some ways very slow adopting innovations, and that's why as well in the Europe we are kind of one of the first ones who are doing this bold innovation. So yeah, there.
So in 5 years, you go to the festival in shorts and t-shirt only, enter with the palm, then go buy beer with your palm and pay with stablecoin. That will be normal?
Yes, you will even go to the festival with public transportation and show the palm. So pure biometrics, no wallets, no cards, basically only you.
Here you go, future of payments.
Yeah.
Jānis